If you enjoy what you hear here today, please consider supporting me on my Patreon page. Every dollar helps, and you get to see content that you won't see here. Chapter 27. A Respite. Canterlot. 1 week after Twilight Sparkle disappeared. 3 ponies stood on a railway platform, an empty set tracks running just to the side of said platform. One of the ponies was facing the other 2 with a stupid grin adorning his muzzle. "So, what do you think, huh? Vladimir asked, proudly flexing his right wing. Vladimir now had his new limb actuator installed, replacing his severed wing. And the Thestral had no intention of letting the others forget that one of his wings was now metal. The titanium fiber plating glimmered in the sun, catching the eyes of the onlooking unicorn and Pegasus. "It'll do," Broadsword deadpanned. "It'll do? Have you seen this?" Vladimir flexed a muscle, and several razor-sharp blades extended out and arranged like feathers. "Now it looks like a Pegasus wing," Shining noted. "Only when the blades are extended," Vladimir retorted in an annoyed tone, retracting the blades and showing off the now bat-like wing. "Besides, you're missing the point. If we ever get disarmed or captured again, I have a secret weapon. You remember when Chrysalis's drones caught us? Had we not been captured and killed those changelings, things probably would have turned out way worse," Shining Armor pointed out. "All right, bad example," Vladimir conceded, "but that was a unique situation. It's not every day your unicorn prodigy of a sister turns out to be a changeling." Shining Armor winced. The Thestral gave a look of apology. Still missing. Right, sorry. "What about the Equestrian Hive? Has there been any word from them?" Captain Broadsword inquired. "We haven't heard anything, so if any pony has, it'll come from one of you royal types." "Not a peep," Shining Armor regretfully informed him. "Celestia and Luna are getting more than a little worried about them. Don't be surprised if we're sent to investigate soon." "You don't think Twilight, went home, do you?" Shining Armor didn't answer, knowing all too well what Broadsword was insinuating. "What about the ponies?" Vladimir changed the subject away from Twilight Sparkle again. "Were there any at the Hive when it all happened?" "Some were visiting, actually," Broadsword answered, according to the reports. "Hey, I'm a captain of the Royal Guard," Vladimir groused. "Why didn't I get those reports?" "You didn't ask for them," Broadsword scolded. "Too fixated on getting that damned wing, I would imagine." "You try getting your wing blown off in a crash and not be eager to get a new one," Vladimir shot back. But back to my point. What did they have to say when they got home? "Nothing." "Nothing?" "Nothing," Broadsword repeated, "because they couldn't. They never came home." Vladimir groaned. "Well, that's... crap. Things are really bad right now, aren't they?" "When did you figure that one out?" Shining Armor stated, his voice practically dripping with sarcasm. "Do I need to answer that?" Vladimir jokingly asked, once again displaying his limb actuator. Shining Armor rolled his eyes and then sighed. It was then that the sound of a not-so-distant whistle pierced the air. The oncoming train caught his attention, and he was allowed to recall where exactly it was they stood. The Canterlot train station was empty, and only a single train was scheduled to arrive at that time. And due to the extra security beginning to rear its head again on account of the new changeling threat, along with the train's passengers, guards were posted all around the station. Most of the regularly scheduled trains had been canceled until the Crystal Express arrived and left. The Crystal Express was, of course, ferrying Princess Miyamori Cadenza to Canterlot. Shining Armor was a little nervous, not that he showed it much. The crystally designed train sped towards the station, the train's whistle screeching again to signal its arrival. Peeking through the windows that they could only just see through, they revealed that the majority of the train's passengers were Cadence and Shining Armor's Royal Guard. The rest on board being the crew of the train. At the very back was the royal car, which only had one occupant. After Cadence had finally been able to schedule a departure from the Crystal Empire to Canterlot, she had informed them that Flurryheart would be left in the hooves of her Crystaller, Sunburst, as it was safer in the Empire than anywhere else in Equestria for the time being. The Crystal Express steadily came to a halt, the Royal Guard quickly departing and getting on with their jobs. Two of the guards, one of whom was a long-time serving Pegasus by the name of Flash Sentry, escorted the princess out of the vehicle dutifully. Shining Armor resisted a gulp at the sight of his wife. "Princess Cadence," Broadsword greeted as the Alicorn approached. "A pleasure, as always."
"And to you. Both of you,"
she greeted back to both Pegasus and Thestral.
I'm eager to get to the castle. I don't like being ferried around like a noble pony's priced poodle."
"Well, given everything that's happening, Princess Celestia and Luna thought it necessary," Vladimir stated.
"I know,"
Cadence sighed.
"Still, I prefer making my own way around. Blame the fact I was raised in an Earth Pony village."
"I won't." Cadence rolled her eyes, but then smirked.
"I like the wing. It suits you."
"Some pony appreciates it at least," Vladimir said with a chuckle, ignoring Shining Armor's glare.
"Now,"
Cadence's tone of voice hardened.
"Shining Armor, heal."
Shining suddenly seemed rather small as he slowly walked up to his wife, thinking of all the childish revenge schemes he could design for the subtly smirking captains behind him. Perhaps he could enlist the help of Pinkie Pie.
"So, you're all right?"
Cadence asked, the concern in her voice allowing Shining to perk up slightly.
"I heard what happened. From the events up north to Twilight's... when she... Have you heard nothing from her?"
"No, we haven't," Shining Armor said sadly. "And I'm fine. I am, I promise." Cadence sighed.
"She'll find her way home, one way or another. She always does."
If what we think happened has happened, that's what we're worried about.
"We can talk about it later."
Cadence concluded gently, before her features hardened again.
"Besides, we have to talk about your hitchhiking first."
Vladimir leaned over and jokingly whispered into Broadsword's ear. You realize the only reason she asked if he was okay was because she wanted to know how many bones she had to break. Shining Armor heard that and gulped, his face going pale.
And you didn't even say goodbye!
Cadence's royal Canterlot voice stormed throughout the castle, though Princess Celestia's tea remained perfectly steady in her magic.
"You would have thought they'd laced their room with a sound suppression charm before, Hoof,"
Luna dryly commented, taking a bite out of her lunch as she shifted in her dining room chair.
"I'm fairly certain they did,"
Celestia noted.
"But, alas, it couldn't cope."
Don't sorry me, mister!
How long are they going to be at this for?"
Luna moaned.
"'Tis most irritating when I'm trying to enjoy my lunch." "She is rather upset,"
Celestia stated the obvious.
I do not envy Captain Armor." "He'll live." "Maybe," Luna replied. "He's a tough stallion after what he's survived, which includes marrying an alicorn, the princess of love at that. What must his loins be made of?" "Luna!"
Celestia scolded, losing her tea, although she couldn't help but let a small laugh slip. Luna hummed, giving her sister a small smile.
I believe that's the first time you've laughed all week. I do not wish to bring the mood down, but you've taken Twilight's disappearance hard.
Celestia's smile twitched, but she forced it to remain on her face.
It's nice to have a brief respite. What else is the purpose of little sisters? Pain and torment.
Luna flicked a small piece of food into Celestia's ethereal mane with her magic, earning her an unamused glance. Luna only stuck out her tongue in response.
But still, this respite will be brief,
Celestia stated.
Things are going to get worse. The changeling queens will come. They will come, and should I face Twilight, under the power of another's mind, I don't know if I could handle it. Should I have to fight her, could I use my full strength? Could I bring myself to damage her in any way? You didn't hold back against me,
Luna pointed out.
That was different,
Celestia stated, trying to be gentle as she said it.
You know all is forgotten, locked in the past where it will remain. But you chose to become Nightmare Moon. But Twilight won't have a choice. Her actions will be that of another. Should I be forced to strike her down, I would strike down an innocent. More than that, I'd kill a mare that I would call my own daughter. It might not come to that, Tia. But it could,
Celestia retorted.
And it is an eventuality that I must prepare for.
I would have understood!
She's still going,
Luna noted.
She will be for a while, I fear. I must say, I don't think I've ever heard her shout like this before. She sounds a little like you. I do try to show some restraint. You try and fail, and you're not funny.
Celestia didn't answer, and only took another sip of her tea.
But back on topic,
Luna continued on.
You've faced situations like this in the past. You told me all about Sunset Shimmer. And yet she is fine,
Celestia stated.
Living in another world, but I am happy for her. The thought that I failed that mare haunted me so, but it's still not the same. Isn't it? You know it isn't,
Celestia snapped.
Sunset Shimmer is a friend. Twilight is more. I practically raised her for the later part of her fillyhood. I know,
Luna remarked.
Why did you take her on so young? You could have waited even after the incident with her entrance exam. Waited until she was more mature, around the age of your other students. No, I couldn't,
Celestia factually stated.
Had I waited, you would have returned and the elements would have never been gathered. The mark on her flank told me all I needed to know. She was a way to save you. Or stop you, if necessary. That was all? A tool? A means to an end,
Celestia guiltily admitted.
That is most unlike you, Tia. You don't think so coldly, so calculating. You may play chess, but not like that. 1,000 years was almost up, and no new bearers came forth,
Celestia explained.
But then 6 fillies all got their cutie marks at the same moment on the same day. Of course I led them all to Ponyville from afar, but she was different. That mark on her flank set her up as the center of it all. The element of magic and the spark to ignite all of them. And beyond that, she had power beyond any normal unicorn. She is a royal changeling,
Luna pointed out.
But we didn't know that then,
Celestia responded.
I had to take special care with her. I had intended to forge her into what I needed. And you did. Thankfully, not as I had originally intended. Oh?
Celestia sighed.
You try singing a filly to sleep after she suffers a nightmare, and tell me you can ever see her as a mere tool again. Try spending every day with her and loving it. Teaching her, caring for her, experiencing what it is like to be a mother. How I had originally seen her the day we met. It repulses me. We all go to dark places in times of desperation,
Luna said in understanding.
You've never told me that before. Or any pony, I'd say. No, I haven't. Not even her? What would I say?
Celestia retorted.
Hi, Twilight. You know I love you, but I used to see you as a tool and nothing more. Yes, that would go over wonderfully, wouldn't it? Perhaps not so bluntly, but use the same words you just said to me. I'd imagine there would be tears and then lots of hugging. She loves you as much as you do her, you know. Mother knows why. You know perfectly well,
Luna sternly responded.
That time you spent with her wasn't a one-way thing. I know,
Celestia sighed.
Sometimes I wish she was my filly. By blood, I mean. Her true mother is dead, and I don't want to just be a replacement. You're not,
Luna assured.
Recall Twilight Velvet, another mother to Twilight Sparkle. The two of you raised her, one of you was biological and went to extremes to protect her. And she loves all three equally, and all three love her back in equal measure, even with Chrysalis gone. It's not a typical family situation, to be sure, but I don't think she would have it any other way.
Celestia finished her tea, sighed, and then sat back in her chair.
Maybe you're right. No, you are right. I already knew all that. Sometimes I just need to hear it, I suppose. You're hopeless,
Luna joked.
Oh yeah?
Celestia smirked.
So are you ever going to give me a niece or a nephew anytime soon? With the right mare or stallion,
Luna stated.
And you're not flipping this around so easily.
I'm your wife for pony's sake!
Luna growled.
Oh, for the love of... Cadenza! The whole castle can hear you! Shut up!
The silence responded, and they could just picture the heavily blushing pink alicorn. At least they cut Shining Armor's scolding short.
A respite, huh?
Celestia mused to herself.
Let's enjoy this while it lasts.